Hello everyone, and today, I decided to get acquainted with the Linux distribution Mint 17. This is such a fork of the Riot, with such a Windows interface, immediately with installed packages, software, with such a start menu, which probably, in such a 8-cat gnomes environment, the first appeared probably on the source and open source distributions. My attitude to this distribution, I always considered Linux to be a bicycle, because initially it was the same at the Riot. With the usual gnomes too, only there were codecs, there was such a semblance of a mini launch, there was practically nothing new, right? Well, now there are a lot of differences in this distribution. Of course, this is all the same at the Riot, and compatible with the Ubuntu, but here is its own graphical shell based on GNOME 3, though. Well, let's say with Unity this shell is related only along the line of GNOME 3, this is a synonym. More for fans of classic Linux Mint, a distribution mount is being released. Next time I'll try to download it, watch it. Mount is the same GNOME 2, which is developing, so to speak, of course, you can say a distribution for ladfags. So, what do we see? The table is essentially classic. Menu, tray, such a law Windows. The terminal, the desktop as a file manager, we have Nemo, this is a Ford Nautilus. Well, here in principle, everything is so familiar, the same Nautilus. Of course, with their own chips. Here, of course, it looks much richer than the same last Nautilus, because if I'm not mistaken, it's a fork of the last. Probably normal Nautilus versions, probably 3 and 4. Subsequent versions were greatly reduced, it is unclear why. In general, GNOME 3 is some kind of mobile, or Android, for a large computer. In fact, according to the software, this is the same one at Ubuntu 14.04, the same Mozilla Firefox 28th version. If I'm not mistaken. Yes. What don't I like? I don't like their program manager. He's very poor. He somewhat reminds me of a program manager who goes by default. I suspect that this is some kind of fork of the Riot program manager, a little raped. Ostensibly very simple, but I want to put an estimate, where here I can go under my own mind to put it. But I can't. I just don't know. I don't like him outwardly. In the Riot, he is much richer, looks much better, and it's just I don't know, well, some kind of synaptic with pictures, you know, a synaptic. Well, of course it's cool, it's wildly outdated. Here, the programs are much more not free, which are even in a Riot, although everyone blames the Riot, that he has almost become such a la Macosio. But there are more programs here. Let's say that Skype appears in the Riot, you need to activate certain repositories in which it will be located. All this is already there right away. And Opera, honestly, what kind of version does Opera not provide? The latter is still on the old Opera 12.16 engine. In fact, this is just a distribution kit for lazy people, people who do not want to study the Linux system, do not want to dig with repositories. I'm just not saying that now it's all simple. Well, at least you need to try to know some basics, add repositories yourself, learn at least, well, I don't know. It's easy to conduct a banal upgrade, or to conduct it there in a podru, install some package or update the system. Everything is too chewed up here, everything is already too established. In fact, this is the Windows. Here, at the Riot, it's already pushing you a little anyway, at least with something to do. Although, and even though, she does a lot for you. Skype immediately, it is not yet installed naturally package. Moreover, in order for these programs to be activated, so that they appear later, for example, the Riot needs to activate only a couple of repositories or add. The disadvantage is that you are offered essentially proprietary software. You know, in the boot to you, it warns you whether you want to use this non-free juice. Under your own responsibility, you seem to connect to repositories, if I'm not mistaken, which is provided in the system itself, or third-party repositories, where you add them from somewhere under personal responsibility. They have already been added here. I'm not sure the developers know what lies in these repositories, and what kind of software is offered to you. For example, even there is the same Google Picasso. Yes, here they offer you. This program is closed source, if I'm not mistaken. The installation has gone. Let it be installed for now. Let's see what else they offer. As an office, we have either an office, the internet, we have transmission, Underbird, Pigeon. It's a pity that the Pidgeys removed the maze. Although let's say the standard one is rebelliously new, it honestly has now become very juicy interesting. Xchat something like that. This is our IRC, immediately throws us to the Minex Mint chat. And we'll write here, do you give a strap-on to your feet? That's it, well for a second, right. Okay, hi, we're writing, hi. Well, this is convenient because if you have just installed and suddenly decide to sort out the system, you will have a desire. You can ask, or you have some errors, glitches, you can ask, they should help you here. It got to the point that one day, I asked a person, he says for some reason you won't put it at Ubuntu, or there is another distribution. He told me that Ubuntu is shit just because she is not Russian. That is, people are so lazy, and so unwilling to study something, to understand something, that they have made such a distribution for them. I am still an opponent of this bike, but I do not approve of their project. Linux Mint Debian, I liked it. Here I don't like that they immediately shove you software that is not free. There are normal analogs of free software. If you are already not satisfied with it, then use it. You are not free. Well, here they're a gamer, so from the very beginning, they have already stuffed a game here. Is that okay? This is normal. It will be allowed to start. Where is Picasso here? Here, I installed it. Pi Picasso tutu. We don't have a Picasso. Okay, Debbie. Immediately in C. It's good that there is a VV right away. As a video player, what do we use here at all? A totem of some kind or not? Let's see what's there. A program called Videos. Here, we have a link to the Totem's website. Probably it's still Totem versions 3 and 10. Good sense. Wait, why the fuck did you add a totem? Why add a totem if you have a son? I can't understand this. So, it is clear that the Velk is much better than the totem. Why do you need a totem? For me, this video player he eats everything, he really eats everything, and shows it qualitatively. No wonder, even the poppy growers, they just think this player is a masterpiece. But they left it. Perverts. Banshee. It was not for nothing that he was removed by the Subunda. I was spitting when this shit was in the boot. I'm not a fan of rhythm boxing, but still, this player here is much worse, despite the fact that they are the same interfaces. But he really eats. Banshee knows how much RAM, is buggy, eats the processor. I don't see anything good in him at all. So, I'll finish it anyway. And where does he curl up, Well, yeah, something we have behind the bracket is this. Clearly. Well, we probably have accounts here. Then we can put reviews and ratings in the application center. In that minimalistic little application center. Here we can probably. But no, I still hoped that it would be possible to connect to Facebook and other social networks at once like a riot, and set up all my accounts in one place. Here they have some kind of application, batteries, languages, athletes. Those. I've heard that there are a lot of topics. So, here we try this one, and turn off the theme. What is beautiful? So now we're like, do we change the picture somehow? Generally blind. I don't remember. So, all these. And we have something else white mint X. Min 10 is just about X. Well, it's already pretty white. Let's put this topic here after all. Cool. So, how do we change both here? Here, we have the effects separately. And what do they use? They use muter, or use compass. Who the hell knows, huh? Well and, whoa. It hovered. It hovered. Hey. A leaf of tea, hey. Oh, she is. Will we change the wallpaper or not? Well, how do I change it? What do I need to press? At the same time, I look at the whole thing through the eyes of an ordinary user. Changed. Oh, it's nice. Yes, it's beautiful, but I don't like it. Here is the chip. We are now this. Alia is like this. A law such an Android Kit Kat. Of course, this moisture is more related to the fact that we are now hanging out here with virtual boxing. That's where it hangs. Although the riot did not hang. Even the last 1410 layer didn't hang. But, Linux cop, Mint, show up for the second time. Ha ha ha. Come on. I think this will be the end of the review. Our test subject, ordered to live a long time. As I can tell you, I am somehow skeptical about this distribution. Because mostly, I don't see any revolts. If some set of programs is installed here at once, and not free software is offered, this does not mean that it is. This distribution is somehow better, because it is much easier and more convenient to install codecs and get into the center of the application colorful, interesting. In the same riot, to sort it all out. So, because, even we've got it all worked out, so I don't see any advantages to the riot. I do not recommend everyone to put at the riot. More precisely, for beginners, I recommend everyone to put and riot, to immediately unlearn the Windows interface. And if you can no longer live without the Windows interface, set yourself some kind of Kubuntu, in which I am CD. In any case, you will have to wean yourself from the Windows interface, otherwise people are pumping Linux Mint, pumping torrents of toys with Exeshnikami. Yes, and without Vine they are trying to launch, then they say that Linux is shit. So you need to stop doing bullshit, immediately download from the riot, reads the documentation you need to understand right away, and the riot immediately makes it clear that you are not using Windows. Linux Mint wants to tell you, this is Windows, dude, try me. Try me, I'll work the same way. Try it, and you will launch everything will be fine, everything will work, but you just tried me. Ubuntu immediately says you don't want to, don't try. I'm a completely different system. You find yourself in a completely different world, with different views. Here, Linux Mint offers you a bunch of proprietary software, which for some reason did not even appear in the menu. I installed Picasso. Where is he? He's gone. Well, fuck it. That's why I recommend the bomb. If you like Linux Smith, use Linux Smith. I think we can end here.